23rd. Yep. Happy to be here. So, first off, we have the eggs. 4QP is just the correct egg for this list, as I am running a very heavy line of rookies compared to a lot of other lists. Viximon, you generally don't get as many draws off of it. So, for the rookies, I'm doing 4 Sala for obvious reasons. Everybody knows security control enough to know why that's what you run. 3 Sala X because it's just more security manipulation, and it can be an extra draw or just an extra body. 2 Bushy, it's great. It's a rookie early on. It's a health scythe target for game. It Bushy for game. We all know it. 4 Magna, best card in the game. Chromon is a bit of a spicier card. It's a very cheap level 5, and I had quite a few times today where I would just play down the Chromon and then Evo it into Venus. It's like I went up against a Metal Garurumon player earlier and a Wargreymon X player earlier, and that was one play I did multiple times against each of them. It can save you. It's great. Can't suggest it enough. And worst case scenario, it's 8K, so it's a lot bigger than others, and so it's just a big beat stick that they have to use either an option or a guy to swing into. They can't just let it die to security. 4 Venusmon, the card is broken. When I saw it, I knew that that was what the list was going to be built around, because it shuts off so much of the meta right now. 2 Death X, card's broken. Reinforcing, you're going to run the 1 copy, obviously. Then we have the removal spells. Ideally, I would have been... What I should have done is swap the Grandel Souls for Wyverns. Grandel Soul is good, but the only matchup it helps in is Grandis. Everything else, Wyverns is better. And I expected more Grandis than I should have. 4 Hell Scythe, for obvious reasons. 4 Blade of the Truth, the card is broken. Turn 2 play, if you get the Magna turn 1, it becomes a draw 3 for 2 memory, and that just gets you rolling. 2 TK for consistency. Lets you look through your security, grab a card. It's great. It's a great turn 1 play if you don't have Magna. It's a great, just middle-of-the-road play. 4 Mimis, it's your purple source, and then it also just, like, it lets you snowball later on, so, like, eventually, if it's a much slower matchup, you can use Hell Scythe to do a Bushiagu for 2. And then 2 TK Aziz to get the Grandel Souls active, but also just because it's very easy to get the effect to trigger, so you're very often having that extra memory gain. I would consider Avenge. If I had to make one change to the deck, it would probably either be swapping these for Wyverns or just figuring out a way to get Avenge in, because it hurt not having that Avenge kid. I faced 2 mirrors, and that was what got me, was not having Avenge. But yeah, that's my security control list. It's very consistent. I didn't have a single brick all day. Yeah. 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 It's very consistent. The 4 Blade is essential. Like, basically what I started with was I started with core 4 Magna, 4 Sala, 4 Venus, 2 Death X, the reinforcing, the 4 Blades, the 4... Like, the core is all this. All this is what I see as absolutely essential you do not touch. I see the Bushies as just one of the best ads you can do. Sala X is great. So Black Gato, some people are running it. because it's also a purple source. I know it's run a lot in Neofani loop lists. The one I think would be better is if you're running the more stall variant that a lot of the lists that topped are. I think that Loemon or one of the other purple hybrids would be better, just because those lists are often running 8 tamers. Yep. And you just got to play aggressive with it. Too many people I see play it and then play it like it's a stall deck or a traditional control deck from other card games. But when you think about it, like the ideal turn 1 play, you get a rookie in the back and a Magna. What you've done is you now have healed yourself and you've guaranteed 2 swings next turn. You're now 3 security ahead and you're already halfway towards winning. Like that is, at its core, it is a value-based tempo deck. It's not a stall deck. Yep. Yeah, I run the 2 TKs. 2 TKs. Yeah, it's great. TK's amazing. I know a lot of people run Kari over it, and I had a couple people suggest it to me, but I think TK's just better because I'm not running Holy Waves or anything, and none of my level 6s heal. It's like other than Magna and Hellscythe and the Salas, Kari doesn't really give me any value. So today, round 1, I faced big black blockers, which was very quick. Round 2, I faced, I think that was the Metal Guru, and Melga is a free matchup. The guy was really chill about it, but like anyone who's played Melga versus Security Control knows that it is probably the worst matchup in the history of this game. Like it is unplayable for the Metal Guru player. I faced an Ancient Greymon, which was tricky, but I kind of just had to rush him down. Because while, yes, he could just wipe out my security, Venusmon was important because it would stop his Omnimon for game. And then also just like rushing him down with the rookies. Because like if you're running the 4 rookie list, you don't get those extra swings in as often. And so with the 9 rookies, you're able to see a rookie consistently turn 1 and 2, and you're just continuously swinging, taking out his security and killing him before he can get his stack ready. Black or Gray is kind of just like take it slow, take your time. You end up winning it most of the time. I faced a War Greymon X player. It was an interesting list. He was running, I think, 4 different level 5s. And he was running Cool Boy, which I personally am not a fan of in War Greymon. But with that one, you kind of just have to make sure you're hitting your Magnas, get multiple Magnas out, just try and get your security stack as big as possible because oftentimes they'll burn out after their first go. And other than their first, like I think if they do the full combo, they get 7 checks. And that's it. So if you get to 7 security, you pretty much are at a safe zone as long as you can stop them from chipping with rookies. And then I faced 2 security control players, which this list kind of just folds to itself because it doesn't have any Avenge Kids, and then so many of its options draw. Because in the mirror match, oftentimes what you want to do is just draw as little as possible, heal only when you need to. You don't want to swing into them because Avenge Kid is such a good card. Where if you hit into like a Schwartz, for example, you've now basically just given them another card because when they Avenge Kid, it goes back to the bottom. Now they have an extra card in their deck and an extra removal spell to stop you from doing anything. But because I don't run Avenge, I don't have that control in the matchup. And I also have less healing than a lot of other lists. So I'm susceptible to them just swinging out at me. And if they hit my security, they hit into draw spells, which then makes it better for them. But that, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.